What up, yo? It's your boy Mike, the middleman. Check. I'm back with another edition of the Diary Insert. This is where I'm just chopping it up and talking about my experience as being a underground independent rapper, MC. I have done this for a few years, and I just thought it would be interesting to explain my experience on just what happens. And I think what I was going to go ahead and I was going to talk this time about competition. I think a lot of people think that they're just in competition with maybe other rappers, right? Or maybe you're in competition with just underground artists. Maybe you're in competition with all rappers. Maybe you're in competition with people just in music in general. And I think that's kind of an oversight because you are really trying to garner as much attention from people so that they will pay attention to your product or your art or your music and just different things like that. So it's a little bit, I guess, tougher to gather that attention when you have things like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok, all these different things that are, other people are getting attention from as well. So there's a lot of competition in just that space alone. And, to keep it kind of honest, like, in music and entertainment in general, actors, actresses, that is like the top field or the top career that I know a lot of people want. I know a lot of people that want to be actors, a lot of people that do act and do music, and people that want to come into that as well. So it's a very sought after career path. And a lot of times, what happens is it's kind of like the NFL, the NBA. They say like, oh, there's only be a certain amount of people that will make it to the top, right? And I think that's kind of the same way for his music and acting and all that, just different energy. Because there's only gonna be a handful of people that are gonna be the box office, blockbuster type of individual, and I think everybody's striving to be that type of individual. Everybody wants to be the number one star, of course, right? Who doesn't want to be the number one go-to person when it comes to movies and acting? And if I put out a record and everybody wants to rush to it, and there's just a lot of competition in that space. Um, a lot of times, what happens is there's a lot of people or even the companies that are behind this person that is the number one person, right? You do have to build up some type of what's the word I'm looking for? You have to build up some type of creative, not creativity, but you're looking for, some kind of desire for people to want to see you, right? Because if they don't know you, not a lot of people are going to be able to come see you. Some companies not going to be able to invest, millions of dollars into your marketing and advertising and promotional budget, to get people to know that, hey, this person is in this actual thing, or hey, this album's coming out. This person is actually making this album. You want to hear this, right? I think that's where it gets lost because a lot of times there's music and people are like, hey, I have a dope album, I have a dope this, I have a dope song. And you can have the dopest song, the dopest movie, anything on the planet that will get anybody to shake their ass or sit their ass down and watch a movie or whatever they're going to do, whatever the attention they're going to garner from it, to get the attention span they're going to get from. You can have the best product out there, but if nobody knows it's out there, then it doesn't really exist, right? It's just going to hit a couple people that or a couple people that might share it. You could do get the unicorn that comes out and somebody sees it and it starts kind of moving, and then companies do come in and they start putting more money and more budget to it to get it to a broader audience. um, the thing is, of course, competition, what I'm saying, it makes you come out with the best project or the best product that you can, right? If you're doing something, you want to make sure that you have some competition because you're competing. You want to make sure that what I put out is going to be something viable and something that's going to be better than the next person. But if you're not looking at the competition as a major, I don't want to say obstacle, but like as a major viewpoint or something to kind of get things moving, if you're not looking at this as like, okay, I make a rap record, but I know there's going to be 1.3 million rap records that are all going to come out this year, or maybe probably even more, because everybody kind of does this. So if you're not looking at it as this competition, I have to put out my best project to making sure that I'm competing, of course, and then I'm going to need some sort of team or energy behind it so that we can get it out to the people, so they can know that this project is out here, and a lot of times with the marketing, with a big record company and promotion, they do this for a while to let people know, hey, this project is coming, so people are kind of excited and anticipating it for it to come out so they can listen to it. When you're a independent artist, you don't have the luxury sometimes of having a group of people that are going to help you push and put this product out there so everybody can know, hey, this is out here, and you want to hear it, right? Because this is business, right? So media business, record business, music business. What it is it's me putting a collection of songs together, and me putting a collections of visual and videos together, and me doing all this so that you can know that this is out here, that you see it often. It's always runs in front of your eyes. If you have a bigger company behind you, they have more dollars and more marketing savvy to kind of put that out. They have teams behind that. They have multiple teams behind there, because the more people they have involved in moving the project, the better outcome it is. And a lot of people are getting paid from that one project. So the competition, as you being a solo artist and you kind of going with other independent artists, is like, yeah, I'm going to put out something so I can keep putting stuff on Instagram or keep putting stuff on Facebook so people can know I'm out here. Uh, the I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I think the competition that people overlook is that you're not just competing with underground rappers. You're competing with all music, and you're competing with all videos, and people that want to sit down and watch HBO Max, people that want to sit down and watch YouTube, and just these different things that gather attention, right? So, being that this is a well-desired, career path, because people want to say it's their artists and everything, but it is a career path, right? You're trying to make some type of money so that you can eat off of your creation. And being that there's so many people into it and so many people doing it, that there's so much competition into it, I think that's where you might hit a few snags. And people are definitely trying to get seen by bigger companies so that they can help them put money into it and help them invest in a way that they can go ahead and get more notoriety, more leverage. And if like I said, if you can, of course, you're going to go in a little bit further than others. The thing about the media in general is that the media is media, right? So they're going to latch on to whatever's kind of hot, whatever's moving, whatever sounds good. A lot of times there is some companies behind the scenes that own certain media outlets that push their product out into the masses because they own the media. You know what I mean? If I own the media, of course I'm going to try and highlight my stuff over, other stuff. I want to make sure this is out here and people know I own the company, I own this, I own that. So I'm going to put the IP out and let people know, hey, you want to see this. I'm going to do as much as I can to get it in front of the most people as many times as possible so that it sticks and resonates in their brain, and they want to hear the project, or they want to hear see the movie, or they want to see what they can. They can utilize YouTube and Instagram because they already have a good gathering of people that are really interested in what they put out. Also, the thing with competition, I think you have to be consistent. And I don't mean that in a way of being consistent of like, oh, we just got to keep putting stuff out. Even though you probably do in this day and age. I think you do have to keep putting certain things out to kind of stay relevant. But I think you have to be consistently putting out good product. Like you almost consistently have to put out good albums all the time. They always got to be pretty solid. So if you're on a smaller independent scale, when people do decide they want to follow and listen to what you're doing, they already know that you have something in the wing that is going to be solid for them. Like they know, hey, Mike the Middleman is going to come out with some dope lyrical personal content. So if I'm messing with him, then I know that when I get something, it's going to be pretty much along these lines. It's going to be pretty dope that I like to vibe with. And that's how you start picking up a little momentum. The more people you get in your back, your behind your back, or, getting your background moving, the better, right? The more people that follow your stuff, the better it is. But like I said, there's so much competition out there. So if you do put out something that is not necessarily deemed the best, not saying that could be the end of it, but somebody else can easily swoop up and take that attention away from whoever you had garnered from you originally, right? They might say, okay, well, you know what, the last, and you kind of see this a bit even in music. Somebody can have the most epic career, 4, 5, 6, 7 albums in a row that are all amazing, songs that are all amazing, movies that are all amazing, but the one, 2 times they drop a couple flops, everybody's talking about something else, right? Or they're talking about how they fell off, how the music doesn't hit the same anymore, how whatever. So you can easily lose all that work that you put together trying to get followers and people that engage with you. As just as fast as you grab them, you can lose them that fast, whatever. Because there's so much competition out there. So if I put out something that is necessary, let's say something that is not good at all, there's probably it's like maybe 100 people that could put out something that might personally relate to that person. Uh, and it's I mean that not saying competition's bad. I think competition's good. I think it keeps you on your toes. I think it keeps you wanting to create stuff that kind of makes you stand out. I don't really like to listen to other people's stuff, and while I'm in the process of creating, I don't want anything to influence me. So, but I think a lot of times people can see that, hey, this competition, this person is competing to do this. They're competitive that way. They might listen to something and maybe gear towards, the audience that they have to try and maybe, sneak a couple people their way and stuff like that. So competition is definitely good. I mean, I think if they say the cream is going to rise to the top, so I think that's what happens. You know what I'm saying in the competition game. And I think if there was only one rapper out there, then rap would die, right? If there's only 10 rappers out there, then rap's going to not do so well because we need people to kind of push each other. I need to say, hey, yo, I'm not nicer than a lot of you MCs out there because I'm a lot nicer than a lot of you MCs. That's competition, right? I need that edge, that ego to go ahead and push me to put something out that is beneficial, just to my creating process. Let's go with the upside. The upside of competition is that it's going to help you try to create something to compete with whoever is on top or whoever is in the middle, whoever's ahead of you at the time, right? You're going to try and create something that is going to be beneficial just in that aspect. Competition is good because it gives a lot of different variety to people that, hey, I want to hear this, I want to hear that. I don't like, what was a big thing back? And people know I don't like hearing mumble rap. I don't like hearing lyrical miracle. I don't like hearing down south. I don't like hearing East Coast. I don't like hearing West Coast, whatever. So it gives a lot of diversity when you have competition because you can have different things that maybe relate to what you were going through or what you want to hear, what you want to vibe to, what you want to connect with. Some of the downsides of competition is that you can have something that's really, really done well, and you can get outshined by somebody that maybe has a bigger team behind or has a bigger promo, bigger marketing. And I don't know if that's a downside, whatever, but I know that there's a lot of tinkering and maneuvering when it comes to trying to get certain things out here. And sometimes you might have the better product, but you might not have the better system to get things in music out, and that could be kind of a downside, right? I know a lot of artists out here that are dope, you know what I mean? And I listen to their music and stuff, but they're not getting that same type of push that maybe a mainstream artist would get. Also, with competition in music, for me, it's almost like everybody is a musician. Um, and I think sometimes, and I kind of want to say whatever, but sometimes what happens is if somebody sees something that works for somebody else, they try to incorporate that into their sound or their development or their creation. And that could be kind of a bad side to me. I think sometimes that's not ideal, right? You don't want to copy people, but I mean, I guess I guess you kind of have to, I guess. I don't know. If you hear something and it inspires you and you make something similar, then I guess that's kind of how it works. But a lot of times what I see sometimes is that people are seeing, hey, X, Y, and Z did this, and maybe if I do this, then I can get my music heard or my project out or something that interests me to whatever because this person will work for this person, and there's a lot of copycat going on just in general. And like I said, this is a well-desired type of career, so you have to I guess you have to see what works in order to see if it's going to work for you. Because, like I said, if somebody makes it big off of that and you make it big off it as well, I mean, I don't know if that's a detriment. That was probably good. You're eating people hearing your music. I try not to copy anybody. I want to make sure that my music is probably as authentic as possible. In my beginning, a lot of people told me they didn't like, I don't like your style. Your style's different. I don't can't relate to it. You don't really sound like anybody. I don't know. I don't really fuck with it. So, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I like to be different. But and like I said, when you're competing, you want to make sure that you are at the top. Like I said, that's the way. Imagine even, sports. You want to make sure that you win. And make sure that you're at the top. Or even if it's an individual, you want to be at the top of your position so you can start. So competition is very much needed in the game. I just think that a lot of people will put out certain music and projects and whatever and think that's it, and they don't know that they're actually competing with everything, right? I mean, you're competing with literally time. Time is like the most valuable commodity. You're competing with trying to let people know, hey, take 3 minutes to listen to this song. I think you might vibe to it. And if you don't vibe to it, they might not ever come back again, right? If somebody listens to your music, that one song they hear, they don't mess with it, it might be it. You might not ever get them again. I mean, they might not listen to it ever again. So just knowing that there's so much energy and time and effort being put into being creative, and it's leaning towards that way now, right? Now it's leaning towards the creatives are kind of taking control. They're kind of getting a little bit more. They're getting better pay for what they do. They're getting able to establish their families and do things they have to do. This is becoming more of a thing now in this day and age, and the 2020s and I guess a little bit before 2020s, but before, when you were an artist, it was almost guaranteed you're going to make no money unless some company came over and they signed you and they did what they had to do to give you enough money to survive until you get built a name. Once you built a name up and you're able to kind of do that, then you kind of maneuver and go from there. But now you can do it a little independent, and the artist is actually a sought after career, right? Because if you were going to be an artist before then, you were going to be broke, right? That's no joke. You're gonna be broke because artists don't get paid. They don't call it starving artists for for no reason. It's a reason why, because not a lot of people are paying art. Art is subjective. You have to find somebody that's actually gonna like and enjoy what you're putting out. You have to get somebody that like to want to pay and provide you some type of currency or financial, transaction, so that you can keep creating art. Otherwise, you're gonna get a day job, which I have a day job, so I don't want it to look like that. I do have a day job. I do. At one point, I was literally doing shows and everything all night long until I got to work. I would go home, shower, I wouldn't even go sleep. I would go home, shower, go straight to work, and then go straight back to doing whatever I had to do. So sometimes it'd be 2-3 days without sleep. It's just what it is. If you love the art, you kind of have to put the time and the work in. But I just want to touch on this a little bit and talk a little bit about competition. I'm trying to keep these about 20 minutes, and I might cut them in two. I've been saying that. So I just keep about 20 minutes. But I want to talk about just in general, like I said, as far as being an artist, you're being an independent artist, you're doing shows. Like when we do shows, there used to be about 30 or 40 independent artists up there. That would be the crowd, and they all want you to get off so that they can do their show and, showcase what they have. And every now and again, you might find somebody that's kind of ill. But there's a lot of competition out here when you're creating and making music. This is a lot of competition out here when you're creating and just putting out CDs and singles. Spotify and Apple iTunes, they don't really pay you, like, what I'm saying? It's not like it's a great living off of that. So you have to find direct connections and things to try and get people to connect with. Here's my merch. Here's my, I have this single here exclusive, or I have certain things that you have to try to do to try to get around the fact that the people that are I guess in charge of the top elite music people, they own a lot of this stuff. They have cuts in Spotify and Apple Music, because a lot of that stuff you have to license. You have to get that music to license it, otherwise they won't be able to exist. So a lot of times they cut partnerships and deals. And you're competing with the mainstream as well. You're competing with somebody that has a big following, a big backing, big group. And if they have connections directly into Spotify and directly into Apple, and they're able to plug you into a top playlist or make you show up right away when you log on to that, you're competing with that competition. Say it, be it as it may, you can have people go to your Instagram and your Facebook and show them, hey, go to this page and check me out. But a lot of times that doesn't transition into sales. A lot of times that transitions to people looking, liking, and scrolling, right? So if you have somebody, the machines know, right? The machines have the science, they have the knowledge, and they know how to get somebody out there. And even then, with all the the money and all the science and all that stuff that they have, even then, some of that doesn't pop off. Some of that stuff will just be a dud, and then they get, what can you do, right? The people are the people. So if you can't, capture them, you can't capture them. But just to know that in this media, music, entertainment field, competition is abundance. You know what I'm saying? It is out here. You are competing with literally everybody that is competing with everybody else that's trying to get time away and have somebody focus on this one singular thing that is going on at the time, or at that you're trying to promote, that you can make money off of and market it. So I just want to get out here and jump in a little bit about just like I said, just the competition and the rules of engagement of playing this music game. I said I know a lot of people out here are doing music, but I'm probably sure they're so into promoting the project in itself, right, that they're like, hey, I'm not going to sit down and talk about all this competition and all the different stuff that's going on behind the scenes, because I have to really focus. You really do have to drill in and focus on, zero in on just this one particular thing that you have going on. You really have to really focus on that, because like I said, if you don't, somebody will swoop up and they'll take the attention, and then they'll be running with their project and nobody's listening to yours. And once you lose the focus, sometimes it's very hard to get back. So I'm going to end it right here. I'm a little long. Sorry about that. But, I appreciate everybody that's rocking with me, man. Do all the normal stuff that you do when you watch a video, like, share, all that stuff, man. Follow us. We are slowly building up our own movement, so we appreciate everybody that backs us and support us. So it's your boy Mike, the middleman. I'm getting up out of here, man. I appreciate you guys. Peace.
I remember back in the days, parents kicked you out to go and play. Drinking landfill water the hose, trying not to tear up your school clothes. It might come to blows, you come home with a busted nose. All your moms want to know you served them fist right. If not, she marched right back down to fight. Where if you was the money maker, the homie took the bid. You slid your cash on the side, you looked out for his kid. Kept them foul niggas off his chick. I never got hit by everybody to switch on the block. For you damn sure stories about bringing it back for my generation. Where if you was hustling for a bite to eat or feeding the block from them fiends and the taxes on the street. Riding your bike with $5 in your sock, going down the wrong street praying not to get shot. Where your parents took you to church, I was a bad boy looking at the quiet girl skirt. When you thought that the world still stood for good, and the propaganda and fear kept the masses in check. The glue that makes society work, before you had to hear straight from the horse's mouth. After technology put the negative comments and speech right into everyone's hands reach. I'm from the old school.